Look at it.
Yes, I looked at your email.
And the last documents that I sent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I looked at both of them. So, I was interested in the information on your part is not yours. Is that correct?
No.
What's the issue there?
The issue with that is, let me pull out my little thing,
Right.
because of course it's 125 pages. That would
Right.
be just as bad as flopping the other children.
You were in Georgia.
So yes.
The issue was in Georgia. Okay.
Yes. So that made me, I didn't know you catch a federal case, flight to avoid prosecution. But they never did. I didn't actually get the case, but they started it and they were looking for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So according to my FBI file, which was the 125 pages that they did give me, that was unsealed, that actually stated that they were looking for me. Oh, this is my resume. But their FBI paperwork, of course, says that
In
I'm
Michigan, you turned yourself.
No, I turned myself back in at Georgia.
You went back to Georgia.
I went all the way back to Georgia. Okay, so therefore that flight to avoid prosecution case was dismissed. And I don't have it with me, but I do have that dismissal. I guess that would have been an important document to put in there. Now, keep in mind that they never, caught me, or they never had any direct, other than the phone call with me letting them know that I was going to go and turn myself in.
Mm-hmm.
But my issue is with that FOA file is that it still goes on for another 200 and something pages. Okay, now if the case is dismissed, why are they still in my life? Now around the same time, as soon as the case was taken care of, I went back to Michigan and I started working with local producers, and it was like a weight had been lifted. I finally wasn't a fugitive anymore, and I had resolved that issue, and I was given a second chance with the First Offender Act, which I never got in any trouble again. Okay, but that file keeps going on for 200 something pages. 125 pages covered about 3 years of them looking
Which
for
is
me.
what you can't see, and then you can't see the other stuff, right?
No.
Right.
It's dated, and it all covers from that time span from 89 to 90. But it keeps going on. That's what I'm trying to tell you, for another 200 something pages. So if it took 125 pages to cover, and they were dated, so it was all in order to cover 3 years, what would the other 200 something pages were after that? That's my confusion. My issue is that in addition to me seeking help for that, I had other stuff I was dealing with. So what my whole thing about coming to you is because I haven't been able to get any help, and in addition to not getting any help, I've had obstruction. Now, did you see that search warrant that I put in there? And I'm like, I don't live like that. I was raised as Jehovah's Witnesses. I opened my life up to a lot of people because I didn't really have any friends growing up. We weren't allowed to associate. So basically, when I started dealing with the music industry, I started dealing with a lot of different types of people, I guess. But I believe that they were still in my life, and I think they did find me. But I can't prove that. I just know that it's really shady that they had it court-ordered and sealed. I'm not no criminal. I don't practice no behavior that would require them to be in my life.
Yeah.
Now, that's why I'm only willing to deal with you with the issue with the police, because outside of that, I did have some other issues. Like with the lawsuit I filed against, it was because of my music. Something happened. And it's more than just one entity. There's too much stuff happening to me. I understand things happen in life. I'm 50. So I've lived, and I know everything can't, be good all the time. You're going to have some obstacles and some issues. But my thing is this: every time I asked an agency to look into it, I've contacted the senator before, and she had them look into it. But at that time, I didn't have all this other stuff. All I had was the fact that my music was being played on the radio, and people were telling me to kill myself. And I'm like, okay, what the heck is this? I don't know what's going on, because I don't really associate. I don't have any relationships with anyone in any powerful positions. I don't have that, and I definitely don't have any money. But the thing is whenever when I filed the lawsuit, I'm telling them, I filed everything perfect, because I do my research, and I even asked for some assistance because of the violence. When my house was shot up around the same time, I'm like, okay, this is not normal. I guess not all black people carry guns and hang with gun totes. You know what I mean? I'm not that gangster type of person in terms of in the streets. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not from the actual streets. I don't hang out.
Sure.
I get along with everybody. And I was, like I said, I opened my life up to everybody, but I didn't kill anyone. And I didn't deserve that. But I think that people talk. And because after that Michigan lawsuit was kicked out and told me I was delusional, and I'm showing you that there's a double homicide with my name left on the scene, that there's a problem here, I need some help, something's going on, I don't know what the heck is going on. The judge tells me I'm delusional. So, I got to continue to listen, and I don't even get a chance to speak to the judge. All of this is done through paperwork. I never get a day in court or any of that. They dismissed it. Even the opposing side answered after the dismissal because they didn't even know what was going on. So, okay, fine. I'm trying to get help, and I can't even get food stamps. Literally, I'm being denied, and people are treating me mean like something, telling me something bad happened to somebody. Now, I don't want to go through, I really hate to have to relive the whole thing. I'm just trying to speed up a little bit here. So after I went through all of that, I go back to Georgia. My name, I'm finally clear. Oh no, this was before I was cleared. I filed a lawsuit against the DeKalb County Police Department. Mm-hmm. It took a long time just to even get my affidavit to proceed and formal pauperous approved. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, finally I get to be heard because they changed my record, said I was not reporting when I was, and as a document I presented. Yeah. And it's illegal for them to go in there and modify my record and issue that warrant saying that they didn't know where I was when I was doing my part. I was reporting, and as the paperwork shows that I was reporting in Michigan. Mm-hmm. So somebody went and got that warrant against me for non-payment and for absconding. That's what it says. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how can I be absconded and I'm reporting as I'm supposed to, in Michigan, but in Georgia, somebody does that at the same time I'm doing my copyrights and all the other stuff. This was before the music. I'm trying to stay in order, but it's so hard.
It's okay.
And I don't want.
I'm following you.
I don't want to relive it, but during all this time, I was assaulted, mm-hmm. and it's like nobody cares. It's like anybody could do it. Even my loved ones. When I told them what happened on a date, what happened, they looked at me like I didn't say anything, and that hurt. I don't know if you've ever known of anybody. You go to your family and you tell them something that cuts you deep. So me being who I am and being angry, I just said, well, I'm just going to do whatever I got to do to get out of here. But I've never been a prostitute. I've never done them. My crimes, as you can see, I don't know if you've had a chance to run my name. I'm sure you probably have, but my crimes are nowhere like that. Mine were paper crimes, okay? And I stayed away. I don't even order checks, and it's 30 years later. I don't even put myself in a situation to mm-hmm. where I'm going to even have the temptation. Because I don't like the fact that when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. So I behave a certain way. But to file my lawsuit in Georgia and they tell me that I can proceed, I'm going through it anyway. I said I was not going to do this. But basically, the documents, when you file in form of pauperous, you provide the court clerk with all of the documents, and then they mail them for you because you cannot afford it, so they're responsible. Right. I did everything like I was supposed to, and I'm forming pauperous. I got all the way past stuff, where they check and make sure that they can proceed again. First you proceed, get the approval for the formal pauperous, then you get the procedure approval for you to proceed with the filing of the lawsuit. You know how they can mm-hmm. see if I forgot what it's called, where they just review the case to make sure it has some substance. Okay. Basis for claim. But basically, I was allowed to proceed totally. Clerks ordered the court ordered clerks to serve and all that, blah, blah, blah. So I did my part. And I'm following on pace or two, and they're served. But they were given a lot of time, and they were able to blame me for not serving it. My documentations, I wasn't getting, the court clerks was interviewed. I had to file 2 motions for correction of error. It's like I'm fighting the system every step of the way. You see what I'm saying? So I've already provided Michigan court, but hey, somebody's been murdered, and people are blaming me for it, and I don't know what the heck is going on, Right. But I'm delusional. But there's an actual situation here, and I requested, in accordance with the laws, rules, and procedures, that if it's violence and certain things can meet qualifications to where you can get some assistance. Mm-hmm. So he dismissed that. So now I'm in Georgia, a whole new case. 2 years later, I got all my stuff together. I got more paperwork together, but not as much as I have now, but enough to proceed. Why did the judge get switched? Just before, right after I put in my summary for judgment, judgment, with a request for summary judgment, because they didn't even answer. They didn't respond at all. And then they pretended like it was my responsibility to serve them, and they never got served, and that bull crap. And then, so years later, I filed a complaint of misconduct, the COM, because of the case and what happened. I even went to appeals, and they made me go back to that same judge who completely ignored the fact that the previous judge said that yes, when you show willful deliberate neglect, that you can proceed. He completely ignored that. This new judge said they can't be sued, period. She didn't serve them, period. Case dismissed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so why is all this stuff happening to me? What really hit home is when I filed my complaint of misconduct. And at the bottom, I make sure I do things like that, because being in my situation, people are, oh, you never turned it in. I get proof. I do screenshots. It's just a bad habit that I have. I can't help how my life has turned me into this screenshot maniac, you know, but basically, I cover myself. But every time I turn around, somebody's doing something. I even got them on I don't know if that's legal or not, so I'm not going to say that, but I recorded them not following the civil rules. And I'm like, because I know they're going to treat me like I'm an idiot. And the first thing every attorney that I was able to get a meeting with was, who helped you? I read. That's all I could do growing up in my house. So I learned, and I researched, and I researched, and I researched. I spent years of research. But basically, when I submitted that complaint of misconduct, I listed at the very bottom of that page how many attachments I had. The other judges, how it was initially assigned to this judge, they switched it, blah, 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 blah. But that paperwork, I turned it on 11. When I finally got my little copy that they gave me, and I went back later, and I said, can I get a copy of the first page? You know, because I have the complaint. I just wanted to see what they were going to give me, which I already knew they were going to do. They re-switched everything. They changed the front of my paper to get rid of the case information, saying that I didn't have any documents attached, so that when the judges were reviewing my complaint of misconduct against the judge, the paperwork wasn't presented that I had proof. So that was their reason. Without substantial evidence, according to federal rules, you have to have substantial evidence. And I had that evidence. But whatever they're getting is not what I'm turning in. So that's why I say obstruction. Somebody's doing it. And even the clerk didn't even stamp it like she's supposed to. You're supposed to stamp it and give you a number. She didn't do that. Then she did it the next day, gave me the 4 different numbers for the other judges that were going to hear the complaint. It's just one obstruction after the other after the other. Meanwhile, I get a job. I'm working for Dieter. Everybody gets fired and forced into early retirement. Then I go out on a leave, not really a leave, but I had a surgery that was approved, and they fired me, you know, on the spot. And then I got so many jobs that they've taken away with these warrants. And I'm like, okay, this is too many coincidences for someone to have to be going through this. Somebody is doing things behind the scenes to my records. I went to Canada. I was thinking about, you know, moving out there. I got arrested and detained, saying they got connects in the States. Just, it's like, I feel like a slave. I really do. I feel like a slave because apparently somebody in positions are doing things, because why else would one person have to deal with so much mess over and over and over again? And I don't understand how, let's just say when I filed that lawsuit, when you sue the police department, people know. People know. And even the DOJ, because I kept contacting them throughout the years. Mm-hmm. You know, this is going on. I tried to start a business. I wrote a book to try to tell my story. Everybody else goes through something. They write a book and they're able to function. Oh no, I write a book. Did you look at the big giant stack? I got to fight people on Amazon, other sellers playing with me, because the price of a book is $33,000. That's ridiculous. You're making a mockery of what I'm trying to do. Mm. Not to mention the different copies. It's just been one nightmare after another. And I just wanted to stop. I'm gonna be honest. I just wanted to stop. My grandbaby came home from school and told me, this was years ago, he was 6, he's 9 now, about 3 years ago. He said, Grandma, they told me that you bad and you hurt people. You know, and people was telling me that I blamed the wrong person. They were fighting in the music industry about the works because I had did a song, but I didn't know it was on TV until years later. And I think that it's a whole big old mess where a lot of people with money. I think it's definitely some sexism and racism involved in this mess. But nobody's acknowledging this. I go into the FBI office and I tell them, that they violated me when I was in New York. I got stranded in New York and had to stay in a hospital. I woke up. I didn't feel any different, but as I left that place, it was so gross. But I was so scared that I didn't even go to the police, because I don't call the police if I have a problem, because I don't trust them to do nothing, especially in a strange city where I don't know anybody. So I got on the plane. Oh, it was so disgusting. I came back here and I went to the hospital, and I had them check me to make sure that that they didn't murder me, that I didn't have AIDS. So I had to go back and keep going back every 6 months to get that test, and they said no, but I don't trust nothing. When you go through the stuff that I go through, I don't trust nothing. I don't. But I'm no longer afraid anymore, because I'm 50. I can't continue to live where somebody is tampering with my mail. I send a complaint to Michigan. Mail does not get delayed 30 hours. I sent it certified registered, and it was delayed here in Nevada for 30 hours. And then in New York or New Jersey, someplace, but it's in the documentation that I gave you. Somebody is messing with my mail. Even when I was sending my music stuff in, somebody was getting my mail, because I don't know if that was in that pile, because I can't give you everything.
I don't think so.
But basically, it's proof. I even have letters from the mail carrier, 2 different companies that say we have no idea, no reason or explanation for the delay. It is unexplainable. Confirmation, again, something is wrong. But nobody does anything. How do you go into the FBI and tell them, look, I'm being blamed for this. So people treat me like I'm running around here murdering, but don't nobody want to tell me or be direct. There's got to be a reason why that FOA had to be, what was it, sealed.
Classified, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Okay. Have you, so other than the FOA, have you had a U.S. attorney look into this?
I went to the U.S. Attorney's office, and they tell me, you can't come in here. We don't talk to anybody. We don't deal directly with the public. We represent the government. I'm thinking, why don't you go back? I said, I'll go back to the FBI. I said, I went there. They shrugged it off. And she's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. We don't represent the public. So I have a list of letters, and I did contact, because this is across 3 states. The only problem I have here in Nevada is that I do know that there's somebody here. Because, like I said, in order to block mail or even tamper with it, you got to know it's coming, period. There's no other explanation for it.
Okay. So.
But it's happened in Georgia and Michigan, and I'm so tired, and I can't keep running because I'm too old. I've been in 3 car accidents, lost my job. The lawyers wouldn't even represent me. I mean, they represented me, but because I lost my job, they claimed they couldn't contact me. I got email, phone, family. They didn't even try to contact me. They didn't even pay the bills. When I can't get any legal representation in any matter. And when I do, I get cheated.
Yeah. Okay. So let me go ahead and contact.
There's somebody else named Tawanda too. Somebody in Georgia.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't look anything like you. I saw the photo, right?
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I didn't even tell you about that. I can't put everything in there because I don't have the actual documentation. I'm just telling you that the lady at Walgreens, because that's where I go. I'm going to Walgreens, forever, and I do my reward. She said there's another Tawanda Lovelace in here with the same exact birthday.
Oh wow.
Exactly. And I'm like, do you know how odd that is?
Yeah.
Something's going on, and I really believe that there is. And I know that I do have proof that there's somebody in the UK that has my name as well and tried to use my social security number to go online. So from now on, I can't use one of those credit reporting agencies. I'm completely blocked for life because that person registered in my social security number. So whatever is going on around here, I'm supposed to be dead and gone. But I don't hang in bad association. I don't put myself in no dangerous situation up until now. When I came here the first time, I went back to that house. My son told me I had to get out. I can't live there anymore. And when I told him I was going to start contacting all these people, I'm verified. I just wanted y'all to know what's going on and that it's going to be dangerous. Do you know that another relative with my ex-husband was related to the chief of police? One of their family members came out here and bought another girl from Arizona, slept in our house one night, or in his house one night. The next day, that night she went out to a party with music people and came back tripping. And she actually went around the corner and had called the police and said that my son had messed with her daughter. So I'm like, okay, that's not my child. There was nothing done from it, no report. Thank God the girl's mother was there to say that my daughter is definitely under the influence, which was clear. It was clear she was under the influence.
Right.
But it was just a point. To me, I did right by my children. They're not on drugs. They don't have any records. They own homes.
Yeah.
I'm not that person. But somebody got to my family. I'll just put it to you like that. Because my grandbaby told me somebody telling my grandchild that I'm terrible. I hurt somebody. So somewhere in this mess, there's some type of major entity beef, and I don't know who it is.
Okay.
But
So
something
let me
happened.
go ahead and contact the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office on your behalf and see what they have to say. Because a lot of this is a legal matter, we can't pursue
And that's what
action.
they've been saying. But you see,
Yeah.
when I file lawsuits, somebody's going in there switching stuff.
Yeah.
Literally. And I got proof of that.
Yeah, so I mean, this is not the type of work that we do here in the office. you know.
Constituent services, I'm still a constituent.
No, I know. But, this is very much a legal matter. This is something that you have to pursue
It's criminal.
in court. Right.
But when
whether
I
it's
go
civil
to
or
court,
criminal-
they do things. I've been to court twice.
Right. So all that we could do is ask the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office, about what's going on behind the closed doors and why are things being switched, if they are, because they will be in charge of investigating.
Who is
We don't
this
have
person? Yeah.
we don't have the ability to
That's
investigate.
what
We're
I
not
think.
investigators. But I mean, and that's what we can do. Once we do that, then I'll let you know what kind of response we get. Hopefully, they'll communicate with you directly and give you an explanation of what's going on. But on our end, there's not much more that we can do. I mean, I apologize. I just have
Oh,
to
no,
be very,
that's
very
what the last
straightforward
attorney
with
did.
you.
She just forwarded to the people who can do it.
You're right.
That's what I figured, but I couldn't even get somebody to do that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, like you said, it's a legal matter. Every attorney that I talk to don't want to touch it. One is either because of the police or because of the other parties
Yeah.
that may be involved. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to be in this.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come in here. I'm nervous
No,
now.
I know. I understand.
I'm in danger. When I get back to that house, I'm gonna be thrown out my house for no reason but other than I'm there, and I'm bringing heat on them, and that's not fair. And I don't have anything. I don't have any money, so he's gonna put me on the street and be homeless. That's gonna endanger me. They took my Section 8 because of that warrant.
I did see that.
At my house, job after job after job. Come on.
I do see that.
So you can at least contact
And I
them.
can contact HUD too. See what we can do there.
I would appreciate it because I feel like any day now, especially with me pursuing this, I'm finally getting heard. I've accumulated enough documentation of the hell to at least know that I'm not a raving lunatic,
Yeah.
Please tell me that
Okay.
you do see something wrong here.
I do. So we'll be in touch. I'll let you know what I hear back from these two different agencies, and we'll do the best that we can. But like I said, I have to be honest with you. A lot of it is just the type of work that we are not able to do here.
Well, I'm still looking
but
for jobs.
I want, we do want you to make sure that there is opportunity for you out there, that you are able to find affordable housing, and
The
if
warrant
there
was
is-
quashed, by the way, right after the lawsuit was kicked out. They did go in and cancel
The warrant.
and dismissed
Okay.
all of the case. But that was still, I had to go through all of that to do it. But they took my Section 8. You said you can talk to somebody?
I can talk to
I don't
HUD.
have anything.
Yeah, I can talk to
I
HUD
don't.
about your
I
Section 8
don't, I
issue.
don't have a problem working. Well, I know I don't expect instant either, but at
I
least
understand.
somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
So you will, and
Yeah.
you will contact them.
And the information that you gave us is the correct information, right? Okay. And I have your email too.